Update. Boyfriend cheated and ghosted me. Original post. Dude couldn't even man up and tell me that he didn't want to be together anymore. He had me thinking that he was dead somewhere because he wouldn't reply back to me for 2 days. His roommate had to call me and let me know that yeah, he's fine, he's cheating on you with my ex. So not only is he screwing me over, but he's also screwing over his roommate, his supposed best friend. What an effing shitty person. I can't believe I was fooled. I almost told this person I loved him. I'm so mad at myself. I'm so disgusted. Now for the updates. Update 1. So I went to my ex's house on Wednesday to grab some things and left there and did some unhinged and petty things to his room as his roommate egged me on. His roommate felt so bad for me. Hell, I felt so bad for him. He still has to live with a guy who betrayed him. I offered to buy him lunch, and he accepted and offered me a toke. We went to a Thai place and I ate one piece of my food. My appetite has been completely lost, and pondered on if what I did, trashing my ex's room, was justified. I asked the roommate and he was shocked, responding with, "Don't you think he deserved it?" Indeed, he did, but I'm such a nice person. I felt like I had gone a little psycho about it. I took him back to the apartment and told him how I was sad and I wouldn't see their cat anymore. He told me I could come over whenever I wanted to, even just to F with my ex. I asked if he had any St. Patrick's Day plans and he said yeah, come out with me, so I accepted. We texted for a few days. I let him know I was making shepherd's pie for my parents and he commented on how he hadn't had it in a while. I offered to bring him some since I intended on making some for them on Friday if everything hadn't blown up anyway. So I made the pies on Friday afternoon and headed out to meet him at a bar that evening. Arrived at the bar, he introduced me to everyone all night as my roommate's ex-girlfriend that he cheated on with my ex. So although I got sympathy, I felt uneasy on how these random people and his co-workers went to his job to get free drinks would view me. He had been drinking all day while I had just started, so I was looking out for him for a little. We went to smoke in his car, then went to a house party afterwards. Now, at this party, he was putting his arm around me and hugging me. It felt nice. We left the party and went back to his car. We spoke for a moment before he asked to kiss me. I said sure, and we made out for a bit. He walked me into my car and he asked if I wanted to go back to the apartment with him, with the possibility of seeing my ex. Not now. I headed home instead. It wasn't my intention to get with a roommate. I know it won't lead to anything serious because he's too young for me, and I just can't set my head and heart straight for anything physical right now. Also, I'm late in my cycle, 4 days late. I'm hoping it's just from the stress. And now for some additional comments. NGL. Based on how he introduced you to everyone, it sounds like he's just trying to get under his roommate's skin by messing around with you now. I might be wrong, though. OP. I figured, and I'm sort of okay with it. He has a reputation, but at least he's straight up about it. I just let him know that I wanted comfort, affection, and friendship rather than sex, and he's okay with that since he can find sex anywhere. He is in a very vulnerable position and is seriously grieving. It sounds like he is taking this super hard, and given that he is stuck living with the person who caused it, is a bit traumatized. I think he is going to make some bad choices. You are dealing with it one way and he is another. I'm glad you went home rather than go back to his place because he was in no state to make a proper choice. Make sure you both respect each other and understand that you are both very vulnerable right now. I wish the best for both of you. Yeah, I feel really bad for him. A friendship of 6 years is ruined. He's got a good head on his shoulders and honestly doesn't drink much. It was the first Friday he's had off in forever, so he just took advantage of that. I think we both respect one another, but at the same time, we're still getting to know each other since we didn't speak much at all when I was dating my ex. He told me if I didn't feel right and if this was too much for me, he'd leave me alone. He just wants me to be comfortable, which I appreciate. I'll definitely leave him alone if he'd like me to. I don't really have much of an attachment to him, but he's nice to talk to and make out with, haha. You really need to separate yourself from this drama BS. No games, no revenge. Cut your ex off. Cut his roommate off. And move on with your life. Take the cat first. They deserve better. He deserves so much better, but it's okay. I'll love on him when I see him. Update 2. Hello again, Reddit. I don't really have much of an update, but just wanted to let everyone know that it's been pretty okay for me. I've moved into my own place with my cat and we've officially been here for 10 days. It's been great besides my cat's initial anxiousness, but she's getting used to it. I haven't spoken to my ex's roommate in weeks. We both started feeling weird about the situation but remained Pokemon Go friends. As for my ex, him and the girl broke up and I haven't heard from him at all. He views all my social media but has made no effort to speak with me, which I'm thankful for. Guess he's just looking to see what he's missing out on. I'll be going to a concert next week, which my mom said she'd fund for me and my older sister. And she recently told me that she's paying my phone bill for the rest of the year. I've really been so lucky this month and I know I deserve it. My friend who gave me my cat has also given me a kitten from their newest litter. I can't wait to have my own little void and hope they can bring my kitty out of her shell. I've started therapy since this is the only bad update. I had a panic attack while I was intimate with a guy. I told him that I felt it was too soon since the breakup and even warned him I might cry, and he was okay with it until I was sobbing and hyperventilating into his pillow. I left his place and proceeded to chain smoke, cry my entire way home. Somehow that didn't scare him off and he's asked to see me since, but I don't think I will. I'm thinking I'll stay single and alone for a bit, focusing on improving myself. So that's the update and probably the last one. I'm just going to be healing, growing up, and thriving. Update 3. Hello, it's been a while, Reddit. Some big and small changes have happened since my initial post. That's now since been deleted. I apologize. But a little TLDR, my boyfriend of 4 months cheated on me with his roommate's crazy ex-girlfriend. I found out from the roommate since my boyfriend ghosted me. I've since moved out on my own, which is exciting. I love my new place. I got a kitten and she's the absolute best and gets along so well with my other cat. Plus, they're sisters. Same mom, different litters. I was seeing a therapist for a while. I hang out with friends more, went to concerts, traveled, etc. Now I guess on to the juicier stuff. Honestly, not much has happened. I unfollowed him on the socials, but he's continued to view my things for a few months until I had a dream about him telling me he got a new job and he was going to be a dad. I woke up in a terrible mood from that and went into work only to drive behind who? My ex on his way to work. And then that same day he unfollowed me on socials. About time. I texted his roommate since we're friends, only friends, and asked him about the pregnancy. He said he did mention something to me the other day and I was confused, but after having you ask, it makes sense. So yeah, he got the girl he cheated on me with pregnant within 2 to 3 months. Congrats to them. I hope they live in misery with each other. I've gone on a few dates here and there. I now have intimacy issues, so I don't like people touching me, much less engaging in sexual acts with me, so currently going through a dry spell, LOL. I'm just enjoying my life, stress-free and cheater-free, or so I thought. Since we unfollowed each other on socials, I thought that'd be it. I reposted a funny video yesterday, and he viewed it today. This sorry excuse of a man went out of his way to look me up and view my story. I know it's probably best to just block him, but I don't really care to. He lost the best thing that ever happened to him, and he can look on in regret. I doubt that he'll reach out, so I don't think I'll be updating again. Just going to continue to live my best life and enjoy my peace on this earth. Update 4. Hello, it's been a long time, 7 months to be exact, since I found out about my ex-boyfriend cheating on me with his best friend and roommate's ex. I'd like to say that I'm doing great. About a month after that all went down, I got my own place, just me, my cat, and her sister that I got in August. I'm doing great at my job. Been to a few concerts, took some much-needed vacations, and been hanging out with my loving family and friends. I have not heard from my ex and have blocked him on mostly everything. I don't care to know what's going on in his life, and it helps that he lives far from me anyway, so there's no way I'd ever see him besides in passing on the highway, which happened one time and caused him to finally unfollow me on Instagram because men are weird and will ghost you but continue to view your content. Oh well, so long and good riddance. His now ex-roommate has been over to my place a few times. My cats really like him and he's tried sleeping with me a few times, and I've rejected him each time. I have no interest in him and especially no interest in sleeping with someone that was so close to my ex. I've started seeing someone and he's wonderful. We get along so well and we just started doing the gym together. This is by far my healthiest relationship despite my reservations of dating someone in the military. When he has to go away for training, I'll take his puppy out to the dog park and care for him while he's gone. He's goofy, caring, and I probably am at his place half the week. I truly adore him and can't wait to see where this goes. He's going to be meeting my family this weekend for an impromptu Thanksgiving. We're having it since my sister and her family is in town. She was also in the military, so she has a little interrogation planned, but I'm sure it'll be fine, LOL. Anyway, that's the update. Can only hope that life only gets better from here. Story 2. My husband, 42 male, is never jealous, and I, 36 female, am growing resentful, plus update. Original post. I've been married to my husband for 12 years, 13 together, 3 kids. He proposed 6 months after we got together and told me he knew by the second date. He is indeed very practical and rational. He is also very caring, kind, and supportive. Just really a wonderful partner, except for one thing. He doesn't get jealous, like at all. By that I mean if someone flirts with me, he'll just chuckle and move on, sometimes leaving me to deal with them alone. When his friend's father spent the entire night of his son's wedding hitting on me, he just said, what a loser, and moved on. I even had an ex write a poem and post it, tagged me. Still, he just said, wow, cool. And when I say, how come you are not jealous, he says, why would I? I trust you. Last week, I reached my boiling point. A month ago, there were some workers transferred to our department. Among them was my ex. We broke up amicably. He moved to a different country, and we kept a very shallow contact, like once a year for a happy birthday text. When I went home, I immediately told my husband, and he said, cool, and then started talking about something else. I snapped. Not my proudest moment, but I said, are you serious? I just told you I am working with the ex I stayed with for years, and you don't care. He said, what do you want me to say? I know you, and I know you're extremely loyal. I know you will never cross any boundaries. I completely trust you, so why would I be jealous? Now I know I will never cross any boundaries. We never had that issue in our relationship. I am crazy about my husband. He is the one and only. I've spent my life showing him how much I love him because I really do, but being jealous, I see it as an expression of love, and him being so cold and indifferent is making me resentful, and I hate it. It just feels like he has taken me for granted. I am hurt and he has been more affectionate than usual, but hadn't referred to that argument again. How do I navigate these feelings? It seems silly, but I am hurt. Now for the update. Update. Hello again. So I got a lot of messages, advice, and yes, insults. It is okay, I see why. By the way, I just had a baby and someone told me that this is important. It might have added to my insecurities. I followed your advice and talked to my husband. I started by apologizing to him and he said it's okay. I just want to understand where this is coming from, so I explained. By jealous, I didn't mean him getting controlling or violent or even throwing a fit. I understand I expressed myself poorly. I meant I wanted him to show he cares enough to have a back-off attitude when SB hits on me in front of him. Or just ask, how is it at work? Him not caring, I took it as him taking me for granted and not loving me or finding me attractive. He was shocked. He laughed and said, how did you jump from me trusting you to me not loving you? LOL. He then explained his side. He said a lot, but here is the gist. I don't get jealous because I feel it is disrespectful to you. I don't say anything either because I keep thinking you don't need my protection, but I see your point and that I will change. But I am not jealous because the notion of you betraying me is just foreign. I know you and I know how much you love me and believe that is, and I will not take that for granted. There are many instances that cemented my trust in you. For example, when 1 month after we started dating, I saw you turning down a guy who looked like a movie star and we haven't even talked about being exclusive yet. I didn't know he saw that. When you stood by my side when I lost my dad. When you sold your dear car because I needed an urgent surgery. Anytime you initiate sex, I'm singing inside the sweet notes I find randomly in my bag, etc. The point is, I feel secure and comfortable. Do you have any idea how rare that is? I work with a lot of guys. I hear horror stories. While there is me who can't wait to finish to go running back home to be with you. I told him about how he feels when I sometimes get jealous. He just laughed. He said, I always find it cute that you think I can see and be with someone else. I am all yours, body, soul, and heart. This man. He then said, I had an ex who kept on flirting with guys and then eventually cheat. It was nerve-wracking. I was on edge, anxious, worried. Now that I'm at peace, so me trusting you is me loving you and being at peace knowing that we can be an ocean apart, and I know that you will respect us. Now, let me ask you about this ex. Have you had any inappropriate conversations? Any one-on-one lunches or dinners or any lines that are crossed? And I said, no, and no, of course. He just smiled and said, I knew it. But I can see how you've been not yourself lately, and I'm sorry if I did anything that makes you doubt how much I love you. I will work on that, and I promise. Then he got to the part that I was avoiding. He said, given how and where I was raised and how my parents have been, he isn't that surprised. I mistook jealousy for love. For context, my parents have been together for years, but should have been divorced years ago. It is a constant cycle of love-hate relationship. Dad used to even beat me and then said that was because he loves me so much and is worried about the kind of person I will be. So we talked about therapy. I will be going next week. He also suggested a couples counseling because he wanted to learn how to be a better husband. We also talked about different love languages, future plans, etc. He called his mom, and asked her to take care of the kids while we went on a date. We had dinner and then had ice cream. When we reached her home, I was laughing hard at his dad jokes. It's kind of his thing. So he suddenly hugged me long and said, welcome back, love. I missed you. I melted. So now he is sleeping with his head on my lap. I wanted to thank you all for your advice, kind and even harsh words. I needed them. To be honest, I am still scared of therapy because I know how ugly it's going to get. Maybe this is why I have postponed it for so long, but my family and I deserve to have my own best version. So if that means slaying over some inner demons, then I'll do it. Thank you again, everyone. Relevant comments. He sounds like a super nice person who loves OP very much. I just can't shake the feeling that there's something unfair about him apologizing and promising to work on himself and take therapy to learn how to be a better husband. I mean, it's like, what? I get that everybody might benefit from therapy and self-reflection, and he may have just been trying to make OP feel better about her own toxic behavior. It just feels unfair for the person who's done no wrong to randomly take on blame and vow to make adjustments for no reason. But I don't know, I'm probably just peeing on everyone's happiness parade, so to hell with it. I totally understand, and I told him that. First of all, this was never an issue before. I addressed it once in 13 years and occasionally get annoyed, but never made it an issue. It was a long discussion. We had to stop sometimes for kids, breastfeeding, etc., so I omitted much of it. But I told him he had no need to apologize. It was entirely my fault, that I had that meltdown, whether it was a mixture of hormones, triggers, past, whatever. I am to blame and I will work on my issues. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for making my future in-laws uncomfortable by talking more openly about my adoption and my parents? So I, 25 male, am engaged to my fiancée, Erin, also 25 female. Since we started actively planning our wedding, Erin's family, but mostly her parents, have developed an obsession with stating how tragic, sad, unfortunate, etc. it is that I won't have my real family there, and that there'll be no blood relatives of mine present for the wedding or our life together. Erin has told them my real family are my dad's and my siblings, but they wave that off like it's BS. Erin has told them that the topic is to be closed, and we have left on a couple of occasions because they brought it up since. But this last time I decided to be open. It was a dinner where Erin's immediate family were present and some family friends. Erin's parents brought it up again how tragic it is, and I decided to divulge my feelings and my experience with adoption and my parents. BG. I was removed from my biological parents at the age of 5 and placed in foster care. I had a very unstable 2 years before I met my dad and my pa. I was 7 when I moved in with them, 9 when I became eligible for adoption, and that same year I was welcomed the first of my 2 siblings. I was so lucky to find my parents and to end up with a family that I have. I remember clearly some of the bad with my biological family, and I don't miss that. So I told my future in-laws that I didn't find it tragic at all, that people who make a 5-year-old feel so unloved that they never see a future where someone could care for them, that you can be surrounded by those who share your DNA and never experience kindness or love. I told them that I could not imagine having any of those people in my life today, and I could not imagine thinking DNA means more than love. I told them that I was miserable being with those people, and I wished every day for someone to love me, and that I didn't know love until I was 7 and I met my parents, and more specifically my dad, who embodies love and is hands down the most loving, caring, compassionate, and thoughtful person I have ever met. He is my shining example as someone who loves and has such a deep capacity to love. I told them my real parents are the dad and pa who took me in as a kid. He was so depressed and scared and dragged down that he didn't eat like a normal person, was afraid to sleep, and would often cry when sleep didn't overtake him. I told them that my real parents are the people who walked me to school every morning, who sat and helped me catch up with school and homework because I was so far behind that I should have been back in kindergarten. I told them that my real family are the parents and siblings who I know I did not share DNA but love me anyway, and have been there for me through every single step of my life since I was 7, and who made me a forever part of their family through adoption. My future in-laws were silent after that, but they told me I humiliated them and made them uncomfortable in their own home, and I shouldn't have spoken like that. Aaron told them they should learn when to quit and apologize to me. Am I the a-hole? That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you.